Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining. And we've got a decent audience to begin. Uh, we believe that this session would be close to 1.5 hours. We would probably have two breaks in the middle for question answer sessions. Before we begin, some of you I see in the user list know about us as Pro, and some of you might be new to us. So let me just give you a very brief introduction of ourselves, and then we can begin with the session. So we are an organization that's been into existence for the last 25 years. We've been in ERP systems, in basically large enterprise system, and our solution is a cloud-based solution. But but over the past 1 year, we've done a lot of work on AI and how AI can be used in enterprise solution. And during our course of seeing how we can use AI within the organization, we realized we have created a tool which can be used for public at large to create their own code. So this is what it's a short brief about us. Been in business for last 20 years and having a strong enterprise background. Now let me give you an idea of the agenda today. So we would be understanding a bit on how AI in software development can be used, where it works, where it does not work. How can I make use AI, set techniques that will make my code better. We will try to build a simple standalone app followed by question and answers. And those who are willing to be with us and continue, we will give a hands-on workshop on how on an existing tool of ours. What I'll do is now I'll let Kandap take over. Kandap is head of technology in our company. Most of you who have been with us would have known him. Kandap, I request you to please take over from here.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. So thanks, Nila, for that quick introduction. So yeah, actually, one of the purpose of this session is not to basically showcase or promote our tool that much, and more to share our understanding and our experience of how we have been using AI. Can how businesses should relook at themselves in the changing AI environment. That is the primary focus. And today's agenda is specifically for on software development. So there are a lot of other use cases the AI can be used, but today we are talking mostly about the software development. And what we'll do is that we will not limit on what tools we are using and what kind of approach we are taking. Is basically we'll give you a generic idea about what is happening in the industry, because I'm sure many of you would be already aware of how others are using, how developers are using AI for software development. And those of you who are not very familiar or not up to date and not really following the trends in that, we will give a 5 minutes idea on what exactly is happening and how it is happening. Also we'll use some of the third-party tools to give you that demonstration. Idea is not for you to train you on those tools. Basically it is to give you an overview of what others are doing, so that you can align your strategy on what is that people are doing, what is that you want to do, and what you can make your own assessment of how the future can look like to you. So I mean, can we get a show of hands if any one of you are already using AI in your day-to-day software development? Those of you who are in software development, specifically for them, you can put a comment, or if you can do a show of hands, it will get some idea. Okay, good. So we have people who are already familiar. So my apologies to that. You may find that some of these things are okay, I know about this, what's the big deal? So idea is to take everyone along and do that. So it may be a little bit of a repetition for all of you. So okay, let's understand what is vibe coding is actually. So vibe coding is actually one of the, there are many platforms which are available as of today. We'll just use one of the Google's product for showcasing on how it can be used. We will not go through a full demo, but we will just try to use vibe coding for building a very simple application. Okay, so what you can do in this tool is that these tools are generally the entire software development kit, and you can go and give as a business user what you want, and it intends to give you the software that is required for your description. So let's see one case so that it is easy for those people who have not used a software tool like this. They can get some idea on what can be done. So Pooja, can you take us through? This is a product called Google Firebase SDK Studio, it is called. So in Google Firebase Studio, basically what you can do is that you can like describe what kind of an application you want, and it kind of gives you that application. And if you are a developer, the good part is that this tool can actually give you fully functional applications, and you can use it. Like it's a very good thing, and a lot of people are using. Though I don't use personally, and I use a lot of AI. So after some time, probably if time permits, I'll also showcase on how exactly I personally use AI for doing SDK, just to give you a perspective of these are all different ways that AI can be used. So here, this is a Google's product. It is called Firebase Studio. There are other tools are also available. Like if Cursor is one such tool. Cursor is more developer oriented. This is less developer oriented, and kind of many cases even a layman can use it. So Pooja, you need to tell me what you are writing there because I can't see it.
Okay, create a web page for appointment booking.
Okay, so let's say that somebody wants a appointment booking application. So can you change that to create a web application for appointment booking? Right. So it's a very simple application that it should allow me to do appointment booking. We just give this command and say that build this application. Are you all able to see the Google Firebase Studio screen? Okay, can somebody respond on the chat, please?
Yes, we can see.
All right, thanks. Thank you. Okay, Pooja, go ahead. So here you give this command and just say, go ahead and do it. Yeah. So it takes time, and it automatically goes and generates all the codes that is required, and it can kind of gives you that application. And in many of the cases, what it can do is that if there is a problem in the code or anything, it can automatically fix itself also. And if you know how to use this, if you give command like okay, I'm getting this error, it can actually fix those error also. I think we got into what is happening. Is it giving any error, some message? Okay. Yes, you can. So it takes time. So you need to have patience. Like some now. And so what it does is that if you look at this, it's actually creating the code. Okay. So so basic point that we are trying to say here is that it is today capable of so book it is, it gave a good name to itself, and it can do it it gives you a description. Like those of you who can see it carefully, it gives you a description of what all it is doing, and it also has got the codes inside it. Okay. And now you can say that, okay, this is what it is going to do. You just say prototype this application. So give it some time. It takes time.
think here I would like to add is that if you're, if you've created your requirement more specifically, it will ensure that, the code is generated in that manner. Here we are just given a one-line code. So here the AI will decide as to what typically an appointment
So-
issues.
I mean, this is very common actually. Most of the AI tool, this is very common thing that it will create some internal error or some kind of a processing. You just say try again, it might go through. Maybe what you can do is that you can give it a try again, and we will come back to this, saying that how the code is generated. In the meantime, we go back to the presentation, and we'll come back to after a while we can come back to this once the code generation happens, because there is no point all of us waiting for it. So essentially what it does is that it can be used for doing coding and it's pretty good actually. And most of them are good. I like the one where it is more developer oriented, because I prefer, I'm a developer, so obviously I'll prefer that. But this is what is vibe coding tools, and this is how the vibe codings are done. Even if you don't know anything or a single line about the coding, it can still be used and you can actually do it. My request to, or my suggestion to all of you is that you try one of these tools. Like there are many actually. You just do a Google search on vibe coding tool, you will get an entire list. So even if as a hobby, it's a good idea to give it a try. All right, so we will come back to this. Can you go to the next slide, please? All right, go to the next one. Right. So the point here that we are trying to discuss about is that, like, this is fine. Like, if you are a developer and if you want the AI to do a software development, that can be done using vibe coding. But can I do a end-to-end application using vibe coding? Yes, I can do a end-to-end application using vibe coding if you are a developer. If you know how the code works, if you know how the software development is done, you can easily use it, and you don't need to. I mean, currently I don't use any of this vibe coding tool because I can do codes just by using plain AI much faster than using the vibe coding. And when it gives an error, I exactly know what the error is trying to give, and I give commands to rectify the error, and it automatically rectifies itself. Right? So this is much easier for me to not use a vibe coding tool. So how I would use is that I will go directly to ChatGPT in the command that I want, and it will give me the code. So end of this, probably once we go through this whole thing, I'll share that also, like, how exactly I am using it, so that you get an idea. Recently, we did a project, like, just for you to, get an idea. We did a project, and like, I had some spare time, in the sense I just thought that I would want to experiment with it and see that how much time really AI can save, and with, like, little bit of a learning of how to do the prompting and all that. My experience has been is that I could personally, with one person working 15 working days, I developed something which is actually effective of around 50 man months project. So probably I'll showcase that also, like, in a while, what kind of a project can be done with AI. Right. So yes, it is a good thing, and this is going to change hopefully in a good way, the entire industry, and we are looking forward to using more of AI. So but can the AI be also, like, can you go on to the next slide? So can the AI also be used for doing end-to-end software development if you know nothing about software development? Right. So there is some question on this. Can we take the question answer probably, with during a break? Yeah. All right. So we'll come back to you. There is a question on the chat. So yes, like the software development. So can it do end-to-end software development without knowing anything about software? For that we need to understand what the software development lifecycle involves. In a business application. So currently we are talking about only business application, but it is not necessarily to use AI only for business application. You can use AI for any purpose. Like, I developed few games also, which I can, like, I'll talk about a use case. Like, recently I was talking to a friend, and he said that can he's not a developer at all. So he said, can you help me? Like, I want to try this, and using AI, can I develop something like, I have got different pack sizes available, the carton sizes available, and I have items to pack inside them which are of different dimensions. So can AI actually give me a packing optimization? And actually I did it in 10 minutes time, and I gave him a code, and he is using it now. He didn't do it because he couldn't do it because he doesn't know how to install Python. He doesn't know how to install the Python code inside it. Then he doesn't know how to do a pip install of packages and all that. So I had to do this. So including the code generation happened in 5 minutes. And I actually generated this in in the end-to-end everything installation, including, took 10 minutes to do. So that is actually, so what earlier, in earlier days, if you say that if you want to do something in technology, you could go and use Excel and do some micro scripting, and you could do those things. So those things you don't need to do now. You can just go to just do a little bit of learning and go to AI and give your command what you are exactly looking for, and it actually gives you fully functional bug-free code in first or second iterations in most cases. In worst case scenario, if your prompting is not very good, it may take 3 or 4 iterations, but other than that, it does a fantastic job at that. But when we are talking about end-to-end complex business application, what we are talking about here is that understanding the software development process. So let's understand this. So first thing that you have to do is that you need to have a requirement of what you want, right? Most of the time in IT industry, we have this saying that this typical excuse that the software is not working the way I want, the user says, and the developer says that he never told me that, the user never told me that he wants it like this. So that is where the FRS comes. So this communication gap is something which is most important, critical thing in a successful software development. So you need to define the functional requirement, you need to define the technical requirement, then you need to define technical requirement in the sense giving how the rights to be managed, how the security to be managed, how the authentication to be managed, how frequently the password change has to happen, how your auditability of the system has to be, what are the external interfaces, what are the internal control mechanism, and all those kind of thing comes under technical requirement. Then you need to design how the screen should look like, whether this field should come on top, this should come down, whether there should be a header detail, and all those things. Then you have got database design, like designing the table. I'm not going to go through all of these, most of you would be knowing it. Then you have got output design, how my report has to look like. So these are all part of the specification. Then you do a designing, then authentication, rights management. This I talk about, audit trail, API, handling unstructured data. All these things are part of the business application. And what is availability, whether there should be clustering, whether there should be multiple application server, which application server, which database to use, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, all these kind of things. How would the load balancing happen, and all those kind of things, right? And which software language to use, whether to use Java, Python, HTML, I don't know, there are hundreds of them. So these are all kind of critical decisions for how the coding to be done, how the code review be done, then the testing is done, then the release management is done, then the maintenance is done. Typically bug fixing, enhancements, and all those kind of things comes in picture. So these are all typically, and it has to be done, all these things. So if we expect a business user to actually manage all this, then what is happening is that then we are actually expecting the business user to know a lot of technology. Because whatever I said just now, the process that we discussed just now, this does not happen in, it actually requires a lot of technology knowledge. So if a business user has that much of technology knowledge, then yes, he can definitely use AI to doing the development. So that is why we came up with a slightly different approach in using AI. So what we are trying to do in our use case is that first thing is that we took all these AI technology that are available. We are not doing any groundbreaking R&D ourselves to innovate any new technology. We are using best of the breed technology that are available in the world today. And we built a platform in which it allows so we are not trying to say here that the developer role can be eliminated or the user role can be eliminated. At the same time, user can do is build a full-fledged application without really knowing anything about coding, but taking a help of AI and taking help of a platform and a development team. So our approach is that with a collaborative effort, what can happen is that if the software development earlier took X amount of effort, that same effort can be reduced by 75%. So the same thing can be done with 25% of the effort using AI. So that is what is our goal, and that is what I mean, I am not trying to say, or we are not trying to say that we are able to predict the future or anything. We don't know, because it's very, very unstable. Very, it is rapidly changing. It's very difficult to say what is going to be, how the future of AI and software development going to be. But one thing is for sure is that with this collaboration method, even starting today, we can leverage a lot of AI power into our business and drastically reduce the software development life cycle. So that is what is our approach and our objective. So, so what we are trying to say is that a business user plays a role. Okay, so the business user collaborates with AI to create the FRS, reviews and enhances the FRS, finalize the FRS, create the prototype using AI, review and enhance the user interface or the business rule inside it. And if the business user is little tech savvy, he can generate the code also. So then the tech user comes into, then this thing happens. So these things happens inside a platform with okay. So then the tech user come into picture, and then it takes care of the technology side of things, right? So this is why we created a platform called Tosta.ai. So this is our own platform in which we allow the end-to-end software development without really doing any coding, but still you need to know technology. So what we are trying to say is that we are divided the part up to prototyping. We are dividing that any business user or anybody can do, and generating code, reviewing code, and deploying the code. These are all requires a slightly technical knowledge. So we are letting a technical person do that job. So this is what is our approach. So let's show you, so let me show you quickly on how you exactly use Tosta.ai for doing your doing the first part of the application development. Then okay, so this is something where what we are going to do is that, are we going to create a new user? Or
Yeah, we create a new user.
From now itself we are creating a new
yeah.
user? Okay, so we will right from creating a new user right up to creating the new application. We will do step by step. Please feel free to take a note of this, or you want to try along. Maybe after the session you can try along. We will go slightly faster at this point of time, and after that you can do a try along with us, right? You just go to Tosta.ai, and here you can just sign up. Doesn't require anything, just need to have your email ID and
We are taking a fresh user, so
yeah, you can. Gmail user is good enough for that. This is you need to enter the password, and you need to verify the password, confirm that the password is same. It's typically on anything. There's just a basic captcha down, and you need to write your name of your organization. So this is a basic captcha. This is nothing fancy, just to avoid too many hits on the site. So once you do this step, it sends you an email, and you can go to your email and check that you must have received this. Yes. So here you can say no reply. Tosta has come. Just click on this link. It will create your user, activate the user. All right. So it is done. You can go to the login, and you can enter your user ID and password. Just email ID is your and the password. the same password that you gave in the previous stage. All right, this you say okay because it is already identifying a session. All right, now what it does here is that it actually, so those of you who are not familiar with AI or API, so basically it requires a, you need to, you can close this, Pooja.
Close this.
So you need to close this also.
Can I open this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you need to get an API key for using this. So it has got multiple model support. You can say LLM provider. This is a large language provider. You have got Google. You have got OpenAI. You have got Anthropic. So you can use Google. Google Gemini has got a free API key. You can go and create it using Google AI Studio. If you have a OpenAI API key, you can use that. Most of them are comparable with each other for business applications. But if you are complex applications and all that, you can probably it is a very personal thing actually. I don't want to get into a discussion which one is better. All of them are good. Feel free to try whichever one you feel is right, and it works fine.
So we are creating an API
So
key.
it is creating an API key here in the Google AI Studio. You can
And
just,
this is free to use as of now.
yeah,
I just copied.
you just copy it and you paste the API key here. And you need to test the API key. So it will test that it is able to get access to your API. For our internal use, I use for most of the normal business application, I use, yeah, this is valid. You can save this setting and you are done. All right. So this is the landing page of your Dostra.ai. So if you want to create a new application, if you go here and if you use this tool, you can see that it is very similar to the Firebase Studio. But only difference is that here, Firebase Studio is open for doing all kind of developments. This is essentially designed for doing business applications. If you are wanting to write a game or if you want writing a application or for a website or anything, probably this is not suitable. This is really suitable only for writing business application. So we can go here and create a new application and you describe what you want from your application.
Is there somebody who wants to describe?
I suggest you do it. Do it.
So say let's create a once an idea, they can put it on the message and we can put that in. But if
Say the point is that here is that if you say that I want to create an application like Ola or Uber, they're not like business applications. So this tool is not designed for that. Then I would suggest that you go and try it out on on Cursor or Firebase or something.
But why don't you create an app for a CRM solution with a ticketing solution, or create a ticketing solution?
You need to write down ticketing solution for what?
Ticketing solution for a hardware and a hardware provider.
Hardware provider, it will not understand. So you need to, so this is where the prompting comes into picture. Like you need to be very specific about what you are talking about so that AI can help you better. So if you are talking about a hardware, reseller, then you write hardware reseller. Provider does not really mean anything. So you can change it to a solution for a hardware reseller. So it understands the business process of a hardware reseller much better, right? So
you can start off with just this, or if you want detail, you can put entire pages of detail.
We can just start with this.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you can say that let's build together. I suggest don't try surprise me because it will surprise quite a bit. You would not want to be so much surprised because it will assume a lot of things. So you can try this. Just say that let's build together, and there you can say that create a specification. The first thing is that, like as I said in the beginning that it requires a FRS, functional requirement specification. So it creates a specification. So what we have done differently here in this is that we have separated out the functional requirement specification and technical requirement specification from each other. And whatever is the technical requirement specification, that system will not ask you or not ask the user. So the platform will provide that technical requirement specification automatically. So you don't have to go through this. So that then the advantage of specifying a technical requirement specification is that you have got a lot of flexibility to be able to design your application or do your application. But at the same time, you need to know all of those aspects of what to use and what not to use. So that is why what we are trying to do here is that we have encapsulated a lot of things which a business user need not know. So here you can see that it is actually designed what screen should be there, what dashboard should be there, what report should be there, by and large what information should be there on each of the forms. So it kind of, you can review this. If you want to make some changes to this, you can make some changes. All right. And do whatever you feel like whatever is not right in this, you can just correct them.
I would like to just add that it also decides which are the masters that are required to make this application run based on, our years of experience. We've these could be the masters that would.
So this is basically how it is working, is that it is working on a, kind of a pre-trained model, which is there, there are extensions, which are models, which are there. So it uses the core model from the third party and it uses our own, understanding and experience and takes that into account. So it kind of gives the design language of that we use. So those of who are familiar with software development that we do or our softwares, they can with quite a places they can correlate that how it is working is how we design software. All right. So once this we are happy with it, we think there is no.
Point scrolling down because
it has all of this information. Then once you are happy with it, all you can do is just generate app. So this generate app actually is it's actually generating the prototype of an app, but it's not really a prototype. It actually has the entire functional code inside it. So, but it does show a prototype of the app. So it generated the app successfully and it shows you here, right? So in the left-hand side, you can see a navigation of the app. Okay, create new ticket, assign ticket, resolve ticket. Then let's say that you want to create new ticket, you can go into create new ticket. And here you can say that inside this, it gives you the specification of this new ticket. Okay. So what needs to be done is, this is not good enough for doing software development. You can go to this edit specification and then you can click on this enhance specifications. So it will automatically again go back to the AI and it will enhance the specification that is initially generated by the system. So first thing it does is that it kind of gives you a rough cut idea about it. Then it further details down this application and specification. So here you can see is this specification is in much more detail. Just save it. Okay. Just save this. Scroll down and save it. Yeah. Now you open the open the specification. Right. Here you can see this one particular option. The specification has become far more elaborated than the the earlier version of this. Right. So now once it is done, then the next step of this is that, so what you need to do is that you can go down below. You can see, you need to, okay, so one reality is that we are just, because we are doing something which is just for demonstration, we are not concerned about what is written in this text, right? But if I'm really kind of making a business application or a real application, I need to be careful about what I am seeing on this screen, right? So that is what is different. So you need to read each of these line, what it is saying in this, and whether you want that or you don't want that. Or you want something else or something more than what it is showing. So this has to be very, very carefully reviewed. It cannot be done lightly. And once you are happy with it, all you have to do is that you can change. Like, if something is not okay, you can make changes to it. Okay. So all you have to do is that once you are happy with it, you can go back to generate model. So this generate model, what it does is that it actually, so this architecture that we use, a MVC architecture, model view controller architecture. So when you say generate model, it not just generates the model, it actually generates the model and the business logic that need to be implemented inside the model, and it gives you a prototype of how the view is going to look like also. So all these three things it does in one go. Okay, so it takes a while. Yeah, the model is generated. Then now you can do is edit model, and you can see this is your model available. So this is not really, this is kind of, you can see here in this is that it kind of gives you a screen. So this gives you a screen layout of how it is going to be. Okay, you can drag and drop and realign these columns. Okay, you can do drag and drop and realign these columns if you. I think the screen resolution is slightly small, so everything is coming one below other. Right? Can you close the right side panel, Pooja? Can you close the meeting panel, or make it full screen, full size? No, make the meeting screen full size.
Full size here.
Full size is-
No, you click on three dots.
Okay, this is full size. All right.
Change color.
Now it's
So change now then. All right. So anyway, what you can do is that you can just drag and drop these columns and rearrange it. Suppose say you want something to be, you can see here the columns are appearing, the headings are appearing. You can just do a drag drop and rearrange these columns. What you can also do with this is that you can do whatever changes you want. You can click on the column in any of these columns. Show the right side panel. So we are struggling a little because it's a. You can click on a column. If you click on this column, it gives you the entire column property on the right side. So this is essentially it has decided what tables to be, what should be the column name, what should be the heading, what should be, whether it should be protected, non-protected, and all that. And if you look at this, go below slightly, you can see here that there is a what validation rules are to be applied, that also it gives against the column. So the idea here is that it gives you, and here you don't need to actually, many of these columns you can just write the business rule in a English language. Suppose say, just see in any of the columns if there is any other business rule which is implemented. Yeah, so here you can say that the customer name should be something, but you can just write it in, So it says that when they call a function and when the customer set the customer name and customer ID, here I can make it slightly more from the customer master. You can just type here from space from customer master.
customer from customer master. No?
Yeah, based on the ID. You can give this kind of specifications and you can just save it. So what it does is that it basically gives you this is actually what it is doing is that it is only giving me a placeholder for writing the business logic in English. So user only has to write this, like, whoever is the business user or, whoever is making this, the prototype of this application. So he just need to specify this in English. Same way the validation rule that it says that must exist in customer. So that's good enough for the system to know what code to generate and everything else. So, or you can want to write a complex logic is required. You can just give a description of the complex logic here, okay, in the business rule. And once you give the description of the business logic on what is required, then what it does is that it generates the code for this business logic. So let's go back now. Let's say that here in this cancel, there is an action button cancel. You click on the action. So there is a button on top, it says cancel. So here it says that the business logic is that clear the form, it is trying to say. So that in this, it is actually not doing it correctly. You're in the cancel, you just don't want to clear the form. You want to cancel the ticket, right? So you want to change it. You can just, change the description of the clear the form. In place of that, you need to write description of what it need to do. You can say that update the flag of inside that box only you need to change. update the ticket status flag in ticket table. To cancel. So it's pretty much like, you know, you're writing in plain English, just write it in plain English. And what you do is that you save this model. So once you save this model, what it will do is that in the background, you can go back now to your main panel. Can you close this? Can you go back to toaster.ai main page, your main login page? Yeah, here you can just refresh it. So if you refresh it, the projects that you have created will appear here. No, don't save it now. It's not required. So you go to prototype. Log in again. Can you log out and log in again? There's some issue in this. No, I think because of the multiple session has got created. Just refresh it, log in again. So it's still beta, so there can be some such small minor glitches. You just need to give it some time for fixing. So here, what you do in this is that you can go and say generate codes. So what it will do is that it will give me a placeholder wherever I have written plain English descriptions. It will, in this code tab, it will give me this code. So what we are trying to say is that user should not need to do this. User can just generate the code and leave it here. And a technical person need to take over from here. Why I'm saying that is that, for example, this code is generated. Like, you know, this is the specification written inside the code. So if I say generate the code, it will generate the code based on the preference language of my choice. Currently, I have specified it to be written in PLSQL. So it will give me a PLSQL code for whatever descriptions I have written in this event. So it gives me a function, database function, to do this. If I am not happy with this, okay, so you can see here it automatically knows the table structure, it knows the column name and all those kind of things. So you can see here, and you can make changes to it. There is an assistant here, like, you know, something is not correct. You can click on this AI assistant and give the command here, whatever change you want. It'll automatically change the code based on your command. Right? So this is how. So what we are saying here is that this actually, if you try to make a user or a business user do this, then it has become like a technical job. So what we are doing is that we are saying that you generate the prototype, okay, then we will have, you know, a team of developer who would help you generate this code using AI and do the deployment from here to make the application run. So that is what is our approach. So so I think yeah, I think we can take, if there is any question answer, then we can continue further and share some more of, you know, experience on how other AI use cases can be in terms of coding and all. So we can talk about them. So is there any questions? Like, you can open it for a while. Any question, you can put it on your chat. Somebody had put a question, right?
Yes, somebody put database.
Mukesh, I think he was talking about Firebase. So in Firebase, actually, what happens is that I have not used it very extensively, but in Firebase, what it does is that Firebase has its own database. So whenever you create an application using Firebase, it by default makes it run it on its own database. But there are ways in Firebase to specify your own database. You can bring your own database also. That is what they claim. But yes, it is possible to connect to the Firebase database itself, which is like a basic relational database. But if you need something like Oracle and all that, so then you need to take care of that inside your prompting.
Done that. You can raise an hand.
So no, can you mention email? No, can you mention once again about how to generate the API key in Gemini? Okay, let me share this. And this is most important, actually. Thanks for asking, because many of this time, it took me quite some time to actually figure out that, because it is confusing. So let me take you step by step on how to do it so that you all can follow it. Because she rushed it very fast. So let me take it slow. Can you see my screen now? All right. So what you do is that go to Google and search here. Google, you can make a note of this AI Studio. All right. So once you click on this Google, first thing that comes out in the search is this. Okay. You can click on this and it takes you to this Google AI Studio platform. Okay. So if you are a Google user, it will automatically take you inside this Google, inside this. But if you are not logged into your Google account, it will ask you to log into your Google account. Okay. And it will open up this page. So to get a API key, what you have to do is that you just click here, get API key. Okay, on the top. And here you can say that create API key here.
Because you on a cloud, you will have to create it. Those who are not.
Okay, so I need to create a project because I'm Google Workspace user, so it is slightly different for me. But if you are not a cloud user, if you click on this create API key, it will directly give you the API key. You don't have to select this project.
We have a ready documentation on the same. After this meeting, we'll mail it to the entire audience list so that you will be able to create the API.
Yes. Create API for an existing project or new project. So this is asking me because we already have so many projects in this Google Workspace. So that is why it is asking me. Otherwise, it won't ask you. It will directly give you the API key. You take that API key, copy that, and put it into the Tosta API key. That's it. I hope it is clear now. It's not very complex. Just go to Google AI Studio and click on this API key. It will be straightforward. Okay, and good part is that it has got quite a bit of free quota, so it's good enough for developing and trying it out yourself and all that. All right, is there any other question anybody else has? Yes, is there a recording of this session?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, we will share the recording. Yeah.
Question from Madhukar. Can the custom modules be created for standard packages like Drupal, Joomla, etc.?
Not with our platform. Tosta.ai does not allow you to create custom module at this point. So what we are trying to do in this is that we are just trying to address. See, AI is very generic. So using AI, you can develop any kind of software, right? And it can give you any kind of output like you want. But then there are then you need to know how to do that exactly. So if you know how to use Drupal, you can just go to any of the AI platform. You can even go to this Google Gemini Studio, and you can also create an application right here. You don't need to use our product for that. Our product is mainly to Tosta.ai is mainly to help business application user develop business application without really doing anything complex. But if you know how to use Drupal, for example, let's say that I know how to use Python. Okay, so let me just give you an example. So this will help to clear off some of this doubts. So I am a Python developer myself, hands-on with Python. So I go to this. I'm not very familiar with Gemini. Gemini is good, but I am not very familiar. And I have a OpenAI account because I have been using OpenAI since a long time. So I got a little bit of whatever you call with this. So what I do is that I can go into this OpenAI. I'm just giving you an example of how you can develop something which is completely out of the box. But please remember that you have to know a little bit of coding. So if I'm developing something in Python, I need to know how to use Python. So here I go into this prompt in this playground. Okay, and what I can do in this is that I can go here, and this is for all those who are interested to do something, not just business application, and do something which is anything or everything. So I'll give an example. Recently I did for one of my friends, so I'll give that example. So maybe it will be helpful. So I use here. I use the most expensive model. So O3 is their most expensive model for doing coding. Okay, so here you choose which model you want. So, and you can see there are so many models from OpenAI itself. Like, OpenAI is ChatGPT's platform. So O3, O4 mini and all that. So the most expensive one is this O3, and it is the best one actually. So then what you need to do is that you need to specify here a developer message. So what it means is that in this message, you need to tell how do you personify that, how do you give a personality to your AI tool. So I can say you are a 10 years experienced. I can make it 15 also. It's those who are wondering why 10. It's nothing like this. Experienced Python developer. You always create highly optimized code. You review the code and ensure. So this is what ensure accuracy. This is what I gave a personality to this. Then now I can give a command, like I have saved that earlier command I had done for a friend of mine. I can just take that command. So this is the command I had given that time. So I'll take the same one so that we save some typing time for me. I can say write a standalone Python code to accept standard dimension in comma separated format of the available box sizes. The dimension should be specified in length cross width cross height. And after that, it should accept the dimension of an item which need to be packed. Suggest the most appropriate box size that should be used to pack this item. Okay, I give this command and I can just say run it. This thing. You can do this in ChatGPT, you can do this in Gemini, you can do this in most of the AI tools. So what it will do is that it will give you the code. And if you are using an appropriate model, like if you're using one of the most, so this is a thinking model, so it takes much longer than the standard ChatGPT. So this is a commercial version of the ChatGPT. This is not the vanilla ChatGPT. So it's a paid version, and it costs quite a bit. It costs, I think, $75 per million token. So expect a little bit of an expensive this thing, but it gives me this code, and you can see the accuracy of this code. I mean, I can see this code is pretty accurate, and it also gives me instruction on how this code should work. So all I have to do is that I can copy this code, all right, and I go to my development tool, and I can, so that I let me open a new. Are you able to see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I can say open a folder. I can go into this demo. I do it here. And I can say a new folder is webinar. I give it name to a folder, and I open this folder. There are no file in this. I create a new file. I can say main.py. So this you need to know, like, I have already installed Python and all that. I just copied that tool, the code, and I pasted it out here. And all I have to do is that I can go to the command prompt. Go to the command prompt. Let me clear it. So here I can say that Python, this is a command to run that code, Python main.py. So it says that, no, sorry, I am not on that folder. So I go to demo. Then I go to webinar, and here I can say Python main.py, right? So you can say, give me the dimension. I said 1 meter by 4 meter, 3 meter by 5 meter, comma 5 meter by 8 meter by, I mean, it can be inch, meter, whatever, 12. And I can say 10 by 10 by 9. So let's say that these 3 dimensions I have. Then I say that enter the item dimension. I can say that I have got a 4 meter by 6 meter by 10 meter. So it suggested that I should use 5 by 8 by 10. So this is the first time that I am doing, right? So it is one shot accuracy is this much. I mean, practically speaking, if I am a developer, Python developer, I mean, let me be honest with you, my code would not be this much optimized. In 108 line of code, it is kind of optimization that it gives me. It is not even 108, actually, it's less than 100 line of code. It gives me this, but it does not stop you there, right? You know, you can go on in an iterative mode and you can ask for changes to this also. Let me show you how to do that. So here I get this output. So this goes into my history. So these earlier commands that I have given, it goes into my history. I gave this command, it gave me this output. Now I can go here and say that, now modify this code to allow me to input dimension of multiple items, comma separated, and suggest best way to pack them in available packed sizes. So if I say this, then what it will do is that, let's see if it gives me the revised code. Right? Don't expect that, like, you know, just because it worked just now in one go, don't expect that it will work in one go. Most likely it may not work in one go, but if your if your prompt is very, very crisp and clear, then 90% of the cases it will work in 1 or 2 iterations. And if the prompt is not absolutely clear, then it might take more than 2 iterations. And this if you are using the best of the model. So the best model for using with Gemini is Gemini 2.5, and the to OpenAI is O3 model. So let's see what, you know, whether it gave me the code. I don't even need to know Python, right? I just need to know how to copy the code, how to paste the code, and how to run the Python code. That's all I know. I don't know anything. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying that I don't need to know. So I can say here, I can say main1.py. Right? I don't want to disturb this. It is always a good idea that keep the earlier version, so that if it makes some mess, you can give the earlier code and say that make changes to this code also. Right? So let's say that this is main.py. It gives me that good part it does is that in the beginning you can see read available box sizes, then it says read all available items in packs, and how to use also it gives. And it gives kind of a notes also on how this program is working and all that. And it also gives you a limitation of what it is not doing. It is not doing the 3D bin packing. So it is assuming the bursting strength and all those things it is not doing. All right. So I can go back here. Now I save this file. I can just say run main1.py. And now I can give this available dimensions. And then I can say here, I can just copy and paste it here. And let me give you one more size. 3 into 5 into 6. And now I want to specify the item. Then, okay, so let me specify 1 into 3 into 5. Actually, I don't know whether it is going to work or not. I'm just hoping it works. So then I say 2 into 5 into 5. Let's see what it does. So it says that, you know, the big item in 1 into 3 into 5, and the second item in 2 into 5 by 5 should be go into this 3 into 5 into 6 box size. So yeah, this is how your packing list should look like. So it may not work in certain situations. So if it doesn't work in certain situation, you can go back and give a command. It'll give you the third code. You just copy paste that code and into this, and it will work fine. All right. So these are all typically, you know, how you do coding using AI. And the most best thing it can do is that, suppose say many times, like, you know, you have got 5 tables. You want to join those 5 tables and you want to create a SQL out of that. It does it 99% accuracy. Just give the table structure, describe your table structure, and describe in plain English what SQL you want, what SQL output to be. It automatically does that. So these are all things which you can use AI in your day-to-day life without really, using any tool of vibe coding or anything. All right. So any other question? Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's go back to the presentation. Just let me stop sharing. Nila, what else we had in the agenda?
So I will show a live application.
Yeah. So what we do is that, like for example, this business application that we generated using Tosta. Like, can you go back to Tosta platform? I want to just talk about something more on that. Can you log into Tosta? Okay, can you share your screen and log into Tosta? Yeah, Pooja, sorry. No. Yeah. So if you look at here, if you go into this particular application, so what it does is that it allows you to do multiple applications. Can you close that side panel? Yeah. Let's close this also. Yeah, great. Now, if you go here in the left, so let me give you some idea about this navigation. So once you build this application, can you go to the prototype? So in the left-hand side, you see your application list. Go to the prototype. Here it allows you to, in the main page, you give say ID. This ID has to be unique. So sometime if you say like it has given TS001 or something, this has to be just a unique ID. This is name of your application basically. So I can say HRTS001 or HRTS, just like that. You can change this ID. Okay, Pooja, can you change it? So this need to be unique. For example, if you try it 2-3 times, it is a possibility that it generates the same ID. So what you have to do is that you need to change this ID before you go. Then you have got your then it generates an icon also. It gives you one of the font icons. Then you go to the description. It gives you what the initial description was given against this. Then you can go down. You can change this color theme. So these are, you will have to choose one of the color themes here. So no, choose another one. Choose the first one. Yeah, it takes a while. So it changes the icon. So this is the theme color that gets applied to the application. Then you can go down slightly. And here, whatever changes you do to this prototype, you need to save it. All right. So this applications is actually, this entire application development happens in a declarative manner. So what it does is that you can download this JSON yourself and it downloads this entire navigation. In the left hand side in the menu, suppose say you want to change the position of something, the last one is that create ticket is in the last. You want to move it to the first one or something. Then what you can do is that you can just copy, drag that and move it up. Yeah, you can do drag drop on your menu and you can do the this mouse is not correct. It's not happening. The mouse is not working. The screen is stuck. I'll share it. Okay, wait, it's fine. I'll share my screen. Don't worry. I can go into this login. I can select this. I've got so many users. Okay, let's see. I must have generated some application. Select a task management, IT asset inventory, anything this is some application I have generated. I can go into this prototype, and what I can do is that I can rearrange this, system inventory management I want below. So I can just move it there. So it moves. I can even this procurement masters management are there, supplier management is there. I want in a different section. I want to add a new menu to the folder to this. I can do it. I can say here that folder is master management. Sorry, I can give this name as folder. I can say that. Oops. Master management. Okay, and description is that main folder for masters, and I save it. So here I should get a master management at the end. I want to take this master management before this. I can move it. Master management is here before this. I want to inside this. I can change it to this also. And here, if I inside this, I want to move the let's say that supplier master inside. I can bring it. I can do a drag drop and I can put it inside this. All right. So this is how you can do, or I can do that master also inside this master management. I can move it. So this is how you can rearrange your the menu. So once you rearrange it, this arrangement stays. All you have to do is that for this arrangement to stay, you need to go here to this main. If you click on this main tab, it gives you this option to save. If you save it, it saves this to the code. And you can download the source code of this in the JSON format. This is basically a declarative language, as I said. So it stores there. Next thing is that, like, you can also, right, go to any of these and you can, like we talked about generate model. You also have an option to see the database design it has done. Right? It has not, I have not yet generated any model for this application. That's why the database design is not there. But if I go to another application, probably I'll get the database design. You can see here there is a database table structures are created. And this is a user table structure. This is a task table structure. And in any of them, like, suppose say you have some specific idea, like, for example, let's say that in this task management, you want the table name of this user is, I want it to be users. So, or I can suppose say I want it to do some specific table name and all that. So inside this prototype, you can say that in the flower procurement, this is the functional specification. You can edit the specification and you can enhance the specification. And inside this, you can give hint to the AI saying that use this as the table name, if you have any specific preference. Otherwise, it will always generate the table name as per its own wish, like, whatever it thinks is right. So you can always say that, you should, like, suppose say you want to have more control over this. You can edit this and in this, and you can specify here, use whatever table name you want to say here. Use prefix all table names with FL underscore. So you can give such kind of commands and hints, but if you don't want to give also, it is fine. So it will generate on its own. And once I generate this model, so what it will do is that it takes some time because it makes multiple calls to the AI and gets the result. Then it asks it to review. Then it checks for there are no mistakes in them. There are no structural error in them. So it does 3-4 steps before it finalizes it. All right. So it generated successfully. I can edit the model, and here I can you can see here that the screens is designed, and here I can, there is a table view here. This is a form view, and I have got a table view. Inside this, you can just change the size of the column also. You can do it like this. Okay. And you can go to the form view. This is a grid view and form view. If here you can change the order of the screen, and put it like this. You want this column to be editable, you can go here to this. You want to change the name of the column, you can go ahead and change the database in column name. Instead of SVPK name, I want SVPPLIER name. You just change it. It will automatically change everywhere else it is required. So here you can see the table name has started with FL underscore suppliers. All right. Then it also gives you the join that is required for this. You can see here the table joins inside this. So here it's saying that FL suppliers is joined with, you know, with this orders table. Yeah. All right. So this, it is kind of gives you this, and if there is anything which is not correct or anything which is like, you know, wrong, you can always correct them here. You want to create your own join, which is this join is not proper. You can change these joins. So this is one form. You can see here it is header detail, like, you know, this is the header, and there is also a order items are also there, which is a separate table. Okay. You can see here, and this also gives me a grid view and a form view. Okay, in the grid view, you can change what you want to see here. You don't want to see the flower name, you want to see. You want to see so much, you want to just reduce it.
Also provides a mobile view.
Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, you can get a mobile view also. How it will look like in your mobile phone. All right, so this is typically what you you know, do, and then it has got like form level actions, then the validations that it needs to do. So each column there is a method to write a validation. So you can add a validation here. Okay, suppose say now, like expected delivery date. It says that the expected delivery date should be more than the order date. So it automatically has added this validation. I can change this validation, and I can change it to a call a function, and I can give a description of the function, and I can give a function name, and I want a PLSQL function or a Python function or a JavaScript function. So it generates this function. So here I can define the function name is that validate delivery date. This is the name of the function. It should check that. Oh, sorry, my bad. Function name here. So if you do such mistakes, then we'll have to review it and then leave it. Otherwise, it will create a wrong code. Delivery date should be more than order date and today. I can say system date. It should not be more than 45 days from today, because you don't want to order beyond 45 days. So you can keep this, save this. So this business logic is captured. It's like, you know, you can come back and change it, but this is captured. You can make it slightly bigger also, and it is captured. And while generating code, once I save it, and when I say generate this,
So that's on the right hand side there.
okay, so it's not closing. So, all right. So I save this, and I go back to this screen here, and here I get see this prototype. All I say is generate this code. It will actually generate the placeholder of the codes. So here I can see the placeholder of the code. Here you can see the flower, and I can say yeah, I know. Make it bigger. Yeah, validate delivery date. This is a function. So here it has the description of what I said. I can say that it is asking me, do you want me to generate the code? I can say yes. All right. So here it is giving me the entire function. So it will go with that order date, and the delivery date comes as an argument. It automatically knows how to pass the argument, okay, from the form. So it has done the mapping. It has done that, you know, it has done the PLSQL declaration. Delivery date is null, then do this. If it is more than current date, then do this. If it is more than maximum allowed date, it has declared the maximum allowed date as current date plus 45. I have written 45. Okay. Now suppose I want to change it, and I don't know how to do the coding. So the maximum allowed date is 45. Now I want to change it to make it 36. Okay. So here I can say change the code to okay. Change the code to
No, just maybe
okay. I can
make sure delivery date is
the
less than
the
25
maximum
instead of 45.
allowed date should be 35 and not 45. See, why I'm specifying this not 45 is because it helps the AI to generate it accurately. Otherwise, sometime it can hallucinate, right? To avoid the hallucination, you can do this. You should always do this. This is actually a good prompting habit. So if you do this kind of things, then it will be able to pinpoint much easier. Otherwise, because you can say max sometime or maximum or something, so it can be slightly different. So here it's giving me the revised code, and you can see here in the revised code it is changed. All I have to do is that I can see this code here. It is giving me the revised one. All I have to do is that accept this. Once I accept this, you can see in the behind this it is changed. Okay. Now here it is not. Here it is not 45 anymore. It has changed to 35. Okay. So this is how it is. It allows you to do coding, but this need to be done by a technical person. That is what is our approach and recommendation. Then the because if you expect a business user to do this, it is not going to be practical. So that is what is our.
There's a question that's come from Chitranjan, which is a very interesting question. That's why I'm taking it up now. He's saying that can I go backward from an MIS report? So I have an MIS report that says I need this information. Can I go and create the screen for inputs? We've never tried it out, Chitranjan. So I think it can. What we've seen it do, probably we will try it and then we'll get back to you saying that yes, it can.
Why don't you register and give it a try yourself and tell us,
So we'll give a registration to you.
No, the registration is open to everyone.
Yeah,
so you can register.
Yeah, so after this session, we let you know how you can register.
It also it is the basic plan. It sets it up to basic plan, and in the setting in the basic plan, all you have to do is that you will have to get your own API key here. All right. So here you have to choose this model, Google Gemini model you want to use, and get the Gemini key. If you are using OpenAI, you can select OpenAI and get a key from the OpenAI. It's pretty simple to do. And here also we have give a link to how to if you are in a basic plan, it will give you also a link here on how to get your own API key. So there is a step-by-step document, and we will share the document with you. Yes, if you have an output, I am 100% sure, 90% sure, I would say.
Actually, yeah, that's very interesting, Chitran. So we'll definitely give you this and we'll try it out ourselves also. So just to add on to what Kandarp has said is that we are right now we are providing at least to the people who are there on this platform and open to all. We are providing a free use of the beta version until we make it commercial. So we actually see 3 months of it becoming commercial, so you can use it free. You can create your prototypes, and if you feel that that right now, of course, like Kandarp mentioned, the deployment of the application is still something that we need to do. There is a developer in middle. Hopefully, as years goes by, we will try and make that. Like Kandarp mentioned, we are not very sure how accurate will it be.
I think the future of AI is going to be more and more powerful, because when we started using AI, like we started using today it is Chat GPT's earlier version, which was called GPT 2.5 was the earlier version, and it was really bad, and we used to use that product, and we never thought that in 2 years time it can reach to a stage that I can use this to build an application. And I'll tell you something about something which is a very surprising and interesting fact for all of you guys is that, can you see this entire Thwasta.ai? This entire thing is generated using AI. Not a single line of this application is hand coded by any developer. It is fully generated by AI. Then I leave it rest to your imagination. This is all created, and you want to have a look at how the code looks like. You will get a headache. I'm telling you, in 1 hour time, if you keep looking at the code, you will get an headache. This entire functionality, how to manage this setting, this code generation, writing this code, showing this tree view, and all of these are generated by AI. Not a single line of code is written manually. So that much I can talk about the promise of what AI can happen in future. So I'm very confident in next release, we will have a deployment option where the user can do their own deployment. And we will also, we are also working on something called a agentic feature. So what is an agentic feature is that those who are not familiar with what is AI agent, basically what is the agentic features are nothing but, suppose say I have to go to this each of this screen and then edit this specification and then enhance the specification and all that. So I can just run this in background and tell AI to do all these things step by step on its own. That's something which we are working on. Suppose say if you have a specification and you are confident that AI is going to do a good job, then you can just run it in an agentic mode and let the AI do the enhancements, code generation, model creation, all of this on its own. So that's something which we are working on. We are also working on something on a technique on how to use AI for doing its own code review. So, but that is something probably is not going to be useful because the newer and newer model, for example, this O3 model which is there, which I just now shown you, this model is a thinking model. This O3 model is a thinking model. So what it does is that it takes the instruction from you, it reviews its own code before, because I wrote here to review your own code, it'll automatically do that. So 99% of the time you will get accurate code. Okay.
A few more questions from Chitra.
Sure.
So I'll probably take it now. One is what kind of error handling does it create as a default and easy to debug? So so this will be deployed on our platform, and our platform has debugging.
So while deploying it, so it basically, while generating this code, it has certain level of fault tolerance of its own, where it can actually, what it does is that it generates, for example, as soon as it generates this code, it comes into a tree view format, or whenever there is a specification or whenever you are changing a model. So it is validating that, handling that the model is correctly generated and all that. So it has got a bit of a code, error handling inside it, but the error handling part, which is more accurate, which is not automated at this point of time, is what if there is any error in this part of the code. Like, for example, this code, the error handling is not there as of today. Right? So I didn't save it actually. So basically what happens is that we do a manual review of this code this point of time, and we are fixing it if there is any issue in this. But most of the time the unreliability factor of AI has significantly reduced. So we don't need to worry too much about the accuracy of error handling, but it still requires. Right?
Business logic and runtime errors. This is where our platform gives the So we'll show you our platform, and you'll understand how it handles those errors, especially the business logic ones, because that comes from our platform. And you'd like to add on it?
Basically what we do is that we have got created certain predefined libraries and framework using which this AI is generating code. So basically, like, if there are too much complexity wherever it is involved, so that part of the code we are making it encapsulating into the platform. So as a result, the AI only need to focus on the business logic aspect of it, and because of which it is much more accurate and much more easier to trace. So the debugging still need to be done by our deployment team. Suppose say we deploy this application, so if there is any debugging required, it still need to be done by a developer. If anybody from any of you who are a developer, we can always, we will have probably follow-up sessions in few weeks from now, where we can, give an example on how that will be purely for the technical people, on how these applications can be debugged and deployed and all that. So, but then we will have a mechanism by which, only the certified developers can actually do it. Otherwise, it will be frustrating for the end user to, or the business user to do. So, see, somebody from our team is doing at this point of time, just to answer your question. But in future, we will, share the same expertise with people who are using this application also.
Another question by Uday, can we connect database in Excel or Google Sheet format?
No, so this expected to work on a. These are all designed, or this product, like So there are a lot of variant in AI tool. We are not trying to address the entire spectrum of AI-based software development. What we are trying to address is the business application aspect of the AI. And in the business application, we expect that we use either a Oracle database or a Postgres database or MySQL database. So currently, this platform runs only on Oracle and Postgres. It does not work with any other database, but you can always connect with, you can always do vibe coding and bring in component, and you can connect to an API to third party. So that's possible.
Yeah, I will just show finally what it looks like
So-
after it's been deployed, so you'll get an idea of what it looks like, because otherwise we'll run out of time. So let me show you how it looks like. And this is something which is live, in the sense that this is used by this was developed.
Your screen is not shared, Nile.
Yeah, this was developed by on Twasta, and it's a working application. What we are showing you is a test that we have at our end. So the application gets deployed at twasta.ai, proteusvision.com. That's where it gets deployed. This entire user right management comes from the platform itself. We will be also including, are we including the single sign-on in the near future? So we might be including that also. So I've logged into the application. The user rights and all were already, there's a master to, or a method to create that. Let me show you. So this is a ticketing system, which, a master was created. Then there is an employee master. Then this is where the logging starts. Now, what it does is it kind of gives you a lot of things, out of the box in the system. If you see, this has given you a process trail of the ticket. So a ticket was created, a complaint was logged, it was assigned to someone. You get a single trail out of here, and this comes from our platform. This was not coded, necessarily coded in that, and it came. What also comes automatically are things like filters. Somebody can go and create their own filters. He comes here and he says, okay, now let me see filter by a priority level, or that's already there. So let me see this by, say, branch, and he says finish. So these are the filters that he gets. If he wants to see all his complaints by, say, only the other branch, he clicks over there. This is a feature that our platform gives us. Then, of course, you can tag, you can have attachments. So you can actually attach documents from here. So that's again part of what you get from the platform. Something very important is also, attachments. Attachments I spoke about. Comments. I can write a comment. If I'm on this transaction, I can write a comment on it. And if I get into the transaction, I mean, this is how typically it would look like, basic information. Now, suppose if I want to create something, and I come here and say add, for example, the moment I type, this comes out of the box. I choose Agrawal, and everything for Agrawal comes out here. One second. How these masters, these are coming out of masters that were generated, and it knows that when there is a customer Agrawal, what are his assets, those come off its own. If there was an AMC attached to it, that would have come by its own. So all those relationships come in are taken care by our platform. There are many other things that are there that can be built into the platform also. There are audit trails. I don't know whether we've configured that in this. There is nothing out here. Yeah, so yes. So these are the audit trails that come. Bilal Ansari created this on a particular day, and these are, like I said, these come out of the box as part of our platform. Also, what comes out of the box is how to create your users, how to define your rights, what are the profiles, how they can be, assigned to a user. This also comes out of the box in the system. These are certain other things that we will give. We will provide it's already in. We'll provide a workflow to this to the entire application, so you can design a workflow. Actually, in Tuasta, there's a workflow designer which we will implement
in another session probably.
In another session we'll do that. These are reports that were created again by Tuasta. You can create your own design dashboards and put it out here. This is how it will look. All applications will, work in a similar manner, so that the entire cycle to deploy and use is much faster. This is all I had to say. If there's anything else,
We can go back to the presentation.
yeah, I'll go back to the
So
presentation.
if there is any other question, we can take it. Yes, I mean, Chitranjan, yes, you can write pseudocode in place of English. That will work perfectly fine.
Yeah, go back to it.
Yes, we will soon. We will put it up in the website, the prompting and the abstraction layer. Yes, so that it gives you a detailed information of what you can expect. Definitely, we'll do that. We'll put it up soon. It is something. What we are sharing with all of you guys is the early release of the product. We are still working on it on the documentation side and the this thing. Also, we will write some documentation and share it with all of you on how to do effective prompting so that you get best result. Yes, we'll do it. Thank you, Chaitanya. So also the point is that what we are trying to say here is that this application, one thing which is unique about our approach is that once you generate, you are as a business owner or a SaaS owner or anything, any company owner or a IT person, if you generate an application, why should we use our platform is, see, like AI, as I demonstrated, you can do code generation in hundreds of ways in AI. It's not that you have to use Toasta to do it. But what is best for using Toasta is that once you develop the application with Toasta, it brings in a lot of architectural experience of ours in generating the code, so that the code generated is scalable, right? We have experience of managing large applications where there are tens of thousands of users are using. So without any performance degradation, it automatically works. Even if you write a wrong SQL, I mean, I'm just giving an example. Even if you give a wrong prompt and the AI generates a wrong SQL, system will automatically prevent the SQL from pulling down all the users. So these are all things which are built onto the platform. And so one thing is that, you bring in the entire best-in-class architecture that from our experience, then you see the prototype, so you know exactly what you are expecting to, we are going to get. The code is feature rich. It has, in fact, there are certain things which are very interesting, which we are looking at releasing in future, that whatever code that you generate, whatever application that you generate, it is natively AI ready. So what it will have ready-made AI features. Okay. Currently it is not, but we are looking at in next 2 to 3 months time, we will be able to release these features. Just for example, it will have a chatbot built in, and it will let you do chat with your database without writing any code. Then it will have so this is basically the approach is to leverage the technical capability of the technicians and the functional capability of a functional expert, and together you build something which is really great. And once you build this, this is readily deployable on SaaS. So that means the load balancing, clustering, your cloud management, everything is built in as a service. So you don't need to worry about managing servers, managing databases, managing any of this. It will automatically be managed by us, and you can take the best advantage of the application that you generate. Go back.
I'll just add to it. One of our first people who used Vasta, and let me tell you, this will be a joint exercise till some time where people will use Vasta, create a prototype. We will review it and we will put it on. We'll deploy it on our platform. So one of our first customers, what they have done is they have built a CRM and this ticketing kind of solution, and now they're looking at providing it as a product to other customers because they can leverage our existing SaaS platform. So what they can do is they can create new enterprises, create the users for them. They can build them at whatever rates they want. So they are actually looking at ways to monetize this, what they have done, and it's their IPR. I think in future I've got a slide that talks about that. Sorry, Kandar, continue.
So that's about this advantage. So it's a new thing again. Like I'll encourage you all to give it a try. That is best. So IP belongs to you, and you can take backup of your code. It's stored on your own Git repository, and it is SaaS ready. You can use it in house. You can give it to your customers. You can give it to your third parties. You can give it to your other such users, and it is ensuring that the code is fully optimized at all point of time. So this is a very, very alternate approach to doing classical software development or buying ready products. Though we are a ready product company, our bread and butter comes from ready product. But that is about adopting the future. In the future, the products are going to going to go down, and people will build their own what they want and own product and how they want it. And we will also enhance this platform. Today we are using it only for a business application, and going forward we would have features to do for writing code against a spreadsheet or writing a in-memory analytics and all those. So we will bring in those enterprise class non-business application features also into the platform. So this is the first part. 80% of the software that are developed are business applications. We are trying to cover up the 80%, and the remaining would be
So I'll just add to this, just go back a bit. I'll just add to this particular slide is that the people that whom we are talking to and those who have come to us to build applications, they have written specs, came to us. One of the main things was that, look, hey, we wanted to have an application. This was a ready-made one. Either we had to buy something which is, a premium level to get those 3 features that we wanted, or we took this, but we still didn't get those 2 small things that we required. So, is there something that you can do that just gives us these few things that we want and is still stable and all the things that you get from a custom, from a ready-to-use software? And I think that's where AI is going to help people move. That custom software is no more going to be a bad thing to have. I will put it that way. It's not something, because with the kind of, so these typical things, it was time consuming. I mean, you were dependent on a specific developer for the changes. I mean, if this guy is there, I made custom, he runs off to the US, then what do I do? So those kind of issues I don't think will be there, because AI will help you change this code once again, and maintainability will become. So this is the bottom line: build what you need, nothing more, nothing less, and it's easy to maintain. So that's one thing I wanted to add. That is where we feel now, thanks to AI, custom developed software will pick up again. I mean, like Kandar said, though our bread and butter lies in this, but we are getting ready to move into that area. So we had spent some time on Q&A, and after that, which we've kind of answered, and we had it in between. Kandar, would you like to answer what kind of?
Yeah, so it actually, if it takes 100 days to develop something from scratch, if you are able to use AI, whether Tosta or anything else, at this point of time, I believe that, like in my own experience of creating this entire Tosta platform that we are offering now, so that has taken us 0 coding. So but from a time frame perspective, I would say around saving of around 60 to 70%. I cannot say, but this is just my off the head thinking. So what takes 100 days takes 30 to 40 days with AI. But the point is that that is on the timeline side. But from a team member size, actually you need a 50 people team to develop something which can be done by 1 or 2 people. So that is the scale. So because the code is generated, you just need to review the code. You can, and the code review anyway, even if somebody writes it manually, you have to do it. Okay. So for us, it has reduced time frame from which is 100. Now it takes 30 to 40% of the effort and time. That is what is my rough cut assessment. We have not really done any calculation to be able to back it up, but yes, that is what is rough cut. I think going forward, when we do a project, we'll try to do a calculation of man days in a conventional way, and we'll share this also, the statistics of how much time it actually took or how much effort it actually took in terms of man days. Anything else? Anything
Yeah,
else?
actually, we've run out of time. We had planned on hands-on, but we'll do another session on that.
No, but those of you who are doing hands-on right now, you all can. We've shown you the steps. My suggestion is that you can register to Twasta and give it a try. And if you have any issues, we can be here for a while. You can post it on this on the chat. We'll let you know if there is any difficulty.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
We are still on. If someone
wants to try it out and have any difficulty, you can give it a register yourself. All you need is an email address. You need to go to the email and just go to register from the Twasta.ai. Give your email address, go to your email, activate your account, and then you are good to go. Like, you can just create new application and describe it and say, let's build together and generate code. All right.
I'll also provide you an email ID now on the chat. If you in future, if you want to send any questions on it, you can put it across. We could have a session later on for this too. So let me just so this is the this email ID will be open for some time, and of course, when we respond, people will personally. This is right, no? Events,
Yes.
yeah. And then you will have personal email ID of people who can help you. So like Kandap said, our suggestion: try it out. Yeah. So this platform is common for all clients. Can we have specific platform? So this is hosted on our SaaS cloud platform. There isn't a specific platform, but if you, like Kandap mentioned, if you are a developer and you can download this code, but then you'll have to build this thing yourself, right, Kandap?
Yeah, you can get a runtime of the platform and you can deploy it on your own platform also. But it is available on our cloud, and if you want to have a dedicated cloud, that is possible.
But then you'll have to build this up yourself.
If you want to run it in-house.
Yeah, if you want to run it in-house, yes. Okay, thank you, everyone.
So
we are still online for someone who wants to try. They can put a message. We can have a shared thing. You can also come back later and mail in this if you have any issues. We are still online for at least 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, sure. I think,
and I'll can you open the so people, if they want to share or talk or whatever, we'll open it.
Yeah, you can open the verse now if there are if there is.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
And those who are with us, those who still want to continue and try it out, we are there to help you.